Good morning students, welcome you all for online classes. Today we will discuss the fourth module, that is key management. In this module we will going to discuss about key management fundamentals and key length and lifetimes, how to generate a key, then how to establish a key, then how to store our key, then how we will going to utilize the key and governing the key management. And also we will discuss public key management, that is certification of public keys and certificate of a life cycle, public key management models and other alternative approaches. Okay, so the hardest part of cryptography, that is key management, and keeping keys secret is hard, because key is very important to protect our data from attackers. Cryptanalysts often attack key management protocols and algorithms. The key management is the process of administering or managing cryptographic keys or crypto system. It involves the generation, creation, protection and storage, then exchange and replacement and use of the said keys. So what is key management? Key management is the secure administration of cryptographic keys, and cryptographic keys are special piece of data. Key is nothing but what? A piece of data. And key management thus involves most of the diverse process associated with information security. If we want to exchange or share information to the other person, means authorized person, we need key, right? So we will discuss how this key will going to act in secure manner way. Okay, and the technical approaches or technical controls. For example, a special hardware device may be required for storing cryptographic keys, and special cryptographic protocols are necessary in order to establish keys. So these technical controls involves that encryption and biometrics and smart cards. In biometrics it is a device, right? So here we are giving our face or thumb, right, to identify the particular person. And in process controls, some policies, practices and procedures play a crucial role in key management. For example, business continuity process may be required in order to cope with the potential loss of important cryptographic keys. Environmental controls. The key management must be tailored to the environment in which it will be practiced. For example, physical location of cryptographic keys plays a big role in determining the key management techniques that are used to administer them. Physical location means if you have ID card, yes, this ID card, and if you want to open this door, you need to use this ID card, right? So this is what we can say physical location. So this is nothing but your key, right? If you insert this ID card onto this door, then door will automatically close or automatically open. Okay, then human factors. Key management often involves people doing things. Many key management systems rely on manual process. The key life cycle. First we have to generate our key, then after generating we have to take a backup, then we have to distribute our keys to particular persons, then after distributing they are using our keys to authenticate the process and revocation, and lastly we have to disposal our key. This is example of key life cycle. Okay, here key generation and key establishment, then key storage. After storage we will take a key backup, then key usage, and in key usage there is key archival and key change. Okay, then key generation concerns the creation of keys. Then key establishment is the process of making sure that keys reach the endpoints where they will be used, that is establishment. And storage, it deals with the safe keeping of keys. It may also be important to conduct. And key backup, that keys can be recovered in the event of loss of a key. And keys archival, key usage is about how keys are used. Key change, how keys life ends in a key destruction. So this is about key life cycle. The fundamental key management requirements. There are two fundamental key management requirements that apply throughout the key life cycle. So first one is what? Secrecy of keys. Throughout the key life cycle, secret keys are nothing but what? Symmetric keys and private keys must remain secret. These secret keys remain secret from all parties except those that are authorized to know them. So two fundamental properties. Key management systems. Key management system may depend on some technologies, that is network topology and cryptographic mechanisms. Network topology is much simpler if it is only needed to support two parties who wish to communicate securely, rather than multinational organization that wishes to establish the capability or a secure communication between any two employees. Network topology means there are topology, that is mesh topology, bus topology, star topology. Yes, based on that, in a multinational organization, so they have to communicate two employees in secure way. Means they have to use a key in proper way. Cryptographic mechanisms. Some of the key management system requirements of symmetric and public key cryptography. Okay, that is cryptographic mechanism. And compliance restrictions and legacy issues. In compliance restrictions, for example, depending on the application, there may be legal requirements for key recovery mechanisms or key archival. if you lost your key, then you have to make recovery in that key, right? So that process depends on legal requirements, means authorized person only they will going to recover. And legacy issues, large organizations whose security party depends on that of the other related organizations may find that their choice of key management system is restricted by requirements to be compatible with business partners. Key length and lifetimes. Longer keys are better from security perspective, and a cryptographic computation normally takes more time if the key is longer. So key length is long, then it takes more time to compute the key. In addition, longer keys involve greater storage and distribution overheads. Key lifetimes. The key can only be used for specific period of a time during which it is regarded as being live. Once that lifetime has been exceeded, the key is regarded as expired and should no longer be used. So we have to give a key lifetimes. For example, in 6 months or 1 year or 2 years. After that, key should expire. So if key expires, we are not going to use that key. At this point, it may need to be archived or perhaps destroyed. There are many reasons why cryptographic keys have finite lifetimes. So what are the reasons? Lifetimes. Mitigation against key compromise. This is one reason. Having a finite lifetime prevents keys being used behind a time within which they might reasonably be expected to be compromised. For example, exhaustive key search or compromise of the storage medium. In exhaustive key search, if an attacker will going to apply this method, so the whole key will becomes visible. Okay, and the second reason is mitigation against key management failures, which help to mitigate against failures in key management. For example, forcing an annual key change will guarantee that personnel who leave an organization during the year but for some reason retainer keys do not have access to valid keys the following year. For example, a person is working on some organization, so he knows all the keys, means okay, after resigning this person he moved to another organization, right? So here this person need to work, but this key know by this person, right? So in this situation our security becomes fail. So for that reason we have to give the key lifetimes. Yes, for example, say 1 month, key lifetime is 1 month. After this employee will going to resign 1 month, and this key will not going to work in other organization, right? So this is what the key lifetimes should give. Mitigation against future attacks. Finite key lifetime help to mitigate mitigate against a future advance in attack environment. For this reason, keys are normally set to expire well before current knowledge suggests. And enforcement of management cycle. Finite lifetimes enforce a key change process which might be convenient for management cycles. For example, if keys provide access to electronic resources that are paid for an annual subscription basis, then having 1 year key lifetime allows access to keys to be directly linked to subscriptions to the service. For example, take your ISP, that is Internet Service Provider, Jio or Airtel. They will give a package regarding 1 month, yes, or 3 month plan, right? So this is what we can say key lifetime. After 1 month, your SIM card will going to ban incoming and outgoing calls, right? So this is a general example of key lifetimes. Then key generation. Key generation is a process for symmetric and public key cryptography are fundamentally different. So direct key generation. Symmetric keys are just randomly generated numbers. Method for generating cryptographic key is to randomly generate a number, or more commonly pseudo-random number. The choice of technique will depend on the application, which type of application you are using. Based on that, key generation will depend. For example, use of hardware-based non-deterministic generator might be appropriate for a master key, whereas software-based non-deterministic generator based on mouse movements might suffice for generating a local key to be used to store personal files on home PC. And then key derivation. The term key derivation is the generation of cryptographic keys from other cryptographic keys or secret values. Advantages of deriving keys from other keys is efficiency. So in this advantage, generating and establishing one key, that is sometimes called base key, and then using it to derive many keys. For example, IP address. Okay, I am just giving a general examples. IP address. ISP provider will give one IP address. So based on this IP address, you can derive the multiple IP addresses. So in that way, keys also will going to generate many keys. Many applications require both confidentiality and data origin authentication, right? If separate cryptographic mechanisms are to be used to provide these two security services, then they require an encryption key and MAC key. For example, keys used for each of these mechanisms are different. Rather than generating and establishing two symmetric keys for this purpose, a cost-efficient solution is to generate, establish one key K and then derive two keys, that is K1 and K2 from it. So K1 is equal to hash of K, key that is a K0, and K2 is equal to h of key and 1. Okay. This is what derivation of key. Here h is what? Hash function. Longevity. In some applications, long-term symmetric keys are preloaded onto devices before deployment. Randomly generating new keys requires a key establishment mechanism to be used, which may not always be possible or practical. A good solution is to derive keys for use from the long-term key. There are standards of key derivations that and consider the here PKCS#5 define how key can be derived from password or PIN, which can be regarded as relatively insecure type of cryptographic key, but one which is often long-term. Key derivation in this case is defined as function f PSCL, where P is the password or PIN and f is what here derivation function or derived key, and S is what a string pseudo-random bits used to enable P to be used to derive many different keys. C is an iteration counter that specifies the number of rounds to compute. L is the length of derived key. Key generation from components. Secret keys, it may not be desirable to trust one entity with a key. In such cases, we need to distribute the key generation process amongst the group of entities in such a way that no members of a group individually have control over the process. One technique for facilitating this is to generate a key in component form. Some scenario is here. Alice, Bob and Charlie assume that we wish to generate 128-bit key. Alice, Bob and Charlie each randomly generate a component of 128 bits. This component is itself a sort of key. So any direct key generation mechanism could be used to generate it. Here the generation of components should be performed as securely as possible. Here let us denote resulting components by KA, KB and KC. Alice, Bob and Charlie securely transfer their components to secure combiner. In most applications, this combiner will be represented by a hardware security module. The input of the components to the secure combiner is normally conducted according to strict protocol, that is key ceremony. Secure combiner derives a key K from separate components, that is using XOR. Key K is equal to KA XOR key of Bob XOR key of Charlie. Okay, this is a derivation of Alice, Bob and Charlie's keys toward K. Public key fair generation. Key generation for public key cryptography is algorithm specific. Not every number in the range of the key space of a public key crypto system is a valid key. For example, RSA. The keys D and E are required to have a specific mathematical properties. If we choose an RSA module of 1024 bits, then there are in theory 21,024 candidates for E or D. However, only some of these 21,024 numbers can be an E or A or D. The other choices are ruled out. In this way, a public key fair generation Some keys in public key crypto systems are chosen to have a specific format, that is RSA. Public keys are sometimes chosen to have a specific format that results in them being faster than the average case. Generation of a key pair can be slow and complex. Some devices such as smart cards may not have the computational resources to generate key pairs. For example, your ATM to only have PIN, right? So if you have any doubts in this video, please ask me. Thank you.